Okay, so today, session 5, essentials for emotional well-being. And you can say addressing stress in a healthy way is really our highest leverage for health. And addressing our emotional heart well-being in that respect, we're going to be talking about in this session. So introducing the heart math solution. So it enhances your resilience, it lowers stress cortisone hormones, it maintains emotional clarity in the midst of chaos, and it enhances a balanced sense of interoception. And that might be a new term to you, so let's explore that further, what that means. Interoception, a sense that helps you understand and feel what's going on inside your body, physically, mentally, and emotionally. By regularly practicing interoception aware activities, you can improve your ability to understand and manage your emotions to enhance your whole health. Okay, so there's more to consider here, and then we'll summarize it a bit. Heart math can assist you with your conscious awareness of interoception with an appropriate balanced response. So having a sensing of what's going on inside of ourselves, but then also not being overtaken by that, but having a balanced perspective in terms of recognizing what's happening inside of yourself, and then functioning from there. Your interoception enhances your ability to be and do in the flow tone state. So again, with that diagram, is having a sensing of when you're on tone, when you're oriented. So the term interoception lends itself to actually having that sense when you feel like you're on tone, you're in the flow, you're not overamping, you're not underamping, you're in the flow state, in being and in doing, even if we have a lot of things to do. So with heart math, to help get you to that point of interoception, the heart and brain relationship. So it's been found out through heart math that the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. So that relates to actually neurological connections, endocrine connections, blood pressure influences from heart to brain. And it relies on the science behind HRV, heart rate variability. So what's been found out is the sequence of time between each heart contraction, if it's in a variable way, in a healthy variable way, you see now between these contractions, it's slightly variable. This is 0.859 seconds, 0.793 seconds, 0.726 seconds there. So it changes. And when there's a healthy variability like that, then we feel actually good physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, if these contractions were exactly the same, you'd be near death. So you want some variability in that respect. So heart rhythm patterns of an individual. So when our HRV, our heart rate with time, looks like this, we're experiencing, you can say, negative emotions like frustration. However, when we're in a state of appreciation and thankfulness and patience, our heart rate variability will graph out like this. It's like we're in the zone. Like here, we're out of the zone. So this is the kicker here. So if we're having aberrant patterns, what happens is, again, the heart is sending messages to the brain, influencing the medulla, which influences blood pressure and the autonomic nervous system. It has an influence with the amygdala, which relates to our stored memory patterns, our thalamus, and then our cortex, our thinking brain. So if we're in a disturbed state, this is what's being, you can say, imprinted in our amygdala and having an influence with our thought processes. But we're in a state of coherence. This allows for good messages to be sent up and actually to de-imprint those patterns that we may have been stuck on previously in our life, to actually begin to have a new perspective in our thought patterns, which in turn can relate to our resilience, our reserve, our perspective. So past, present, and future. You could say all of us we have had aberrant, HRV patterns in the past. Or if we can get in the present moment, if we can set the stage within ourselves of coherence, it can be said that an emanation of coherence extends out from ourselves, which allows for us to be in a position to actually feel like, well, I can trust what's going to work out. I can be assured with the future. So it's a matter of changing your future from something aberrant or disjointed to having a sensing, well, I'm going to be moving in this pattern step by step of a sound and sure way. So how do I become more coherent? Big idea. With HeartMath, it has an exercise called Quick Coherence Technique Basics. So the first part of that is heart-focused breathing. This is where just focusing your conscious feeling attention on your heart, it shifts your attention away from you can say your head, which helps to actually slow down, you can say the mental chatter that happens when we are stressed. So maybe we can just practice this for a moment. So maybe you can put your hands over your heart and upright yourselves. And then have a conscious feeling of where your heart is and feeling where your heart is. And imagine breathing through your heart as if your nose was on your heart. So breathing in slow. And then breathing out slower through your heart. And breathing in slow. And breathing out slower through your heart. One more time to practice. Breathing in slow. And out slower. Okay. Okay, that's a start, and we'll put these pieces together. So another part of it is consider what makes you smile. What do you love for sure? So this is our cat, Katniss, which we love for sure. And she brings a smile to our faces there. So consider something. And I usually encourage folks to actually list out, do an emotional smiling inventory, list out the things that make you smile. So those things are readily available. Say if stress comes along, you can remember what makes you smile. So quick coherence, quick steps. Heart focused breathing, slow in and slower out. And when you breathe in slow and then slower out, it activates your calming parasympathetic system. And then activating a positive or renewing feeling. Experience what makes you smile. Heart focused, breathe the positive emotion in through your heart, and you can actually let it go through your whole body. So let's put those pieces together. So uprighting yourself, hands on your heart. Start with breathing in slow and breathing out slower. Breathing in slow and down slower. And then consider something that makes you smile. And feel the feeling of that. Not just think about it, but feel the feeling of that. And breathe that feeling in through your heart and then out through your heart. And you can let it go through your whole body. And breathing in and breathing out. Let that feeling fill you to overflowing outward. Okay. Okay, that's the quick coherence steps there. So you may want to practice that, and that'll be part of our implementation for the week. And it's a very ideal little quick thing to do to get reoriented. Okay, and then there's instrumentation that you can get with an app and actually see for yourself if you're in a state of high coherence. So they have a sensor, an Android's or an iPhone sensor you can use. It's Bluetooth. And then for folks who don't want to use their phone, there's a sensor. This is something I use every morning. EM-Wave 2, it's battery powered, and it measures again your HRV while you're doing, you say, a heart math exercise to see if you're actually in a state of high coherence. And there's a video which I'll share in a follow-up here. This video here, we won't show it tonight, but it demonstrates a little bit more about how to use the sensor and how to actually feel like you are in that interoceptive place of high coherence. Oh, okay. I don't want to do that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see where we left off here. I have one more thing to show. Okay, now this is a poem, like Heart Math is a poem. You can say the summary of Heart Math has to do with this poem by Martin Cecil. It's any moment of hating, any moment of lying, any moment of resentment is a moment of dying. Any moment of loving, any moment of giving, any moment of thankfulness is a moment of living. All our moments add together like the digits in a sum, but the answer tells us plainly whether life or death shall come. So heart math, you think heart mathematics. This poem really encapsulates what heart math is about. It's cultivating feelings of love, of givingness, of thankfulness, and actually it's where science meets spirit, where you can see how having those feelings can put your HRV in its right balance, and then if they're not, then how getting into coherence can help facilitate those feelings. So let's look at it in terms of graphically, where emotional well-being and heart rate variability, thankfulness, appreciation, patience. So when our heart is in those healthy HRV patterns, we'll naturally feel feelings like thankfulness, appreciation, and patience. And cultivating those feelings on our own will help get us into these rhythms here. So our mind, I've been using the analogy, our mind is the rudder of our heart. So our mind is to keep our heart oriented. It enhances our conscious awareness of interoception for self-regulation. So as we know these patterns, that enhances our conscious awareness of interoception for self-regulation. So we can actually, when we feel stress, we're recognizing we're feeling stress, but then we can have a sensing what it takes to get back, having the interoceptive sense to get back to this state of heart rhythms. And that allows for our body to be reinvigorated, to be refreshed. So we can play our part in extending a well-being influence. Okay, so let's pause for a moment.